Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, I want to give voice to some of the frustration and resentment that men are feeling regarding feminism, globalism, and this creeping radical liberalism that is destroying American culture. Because it wasn't supposed to be this way. We were supposed to be building a secure, prosperous future based on our principles and our strength and our noble, ideals, right? We were supposed to be building that world. And this is the dichotomy. This is the separation, The left, the current left, I don't just mean, liberalism. I mean radical, commercialized, propagandized, unthinking, delusional left in Western civilizations. Because the distinction that I want to make here, it's not, the people on, either side of the political spectrum think that it's between, crazy people on the left and crazy people on the right. It's not. It's between crazy people and non-crazy people. See, and people think, well, I'm not going to get into all of that. Let's just say that Trump is an outsider, okay? Trump is not supported by the mainstream Republican Party. I think that should be obvious to you guys. So, anyway, that's how the future is supposed to be. You're supposed to be able to consider the past, consider the present, formulate a plan, a hypothesis, test it out, make adjustments, and then move forward with the right plan to get the desired results that you're looking for in the future, okay? That's what it's supposed to be. That's what men expect, okay? If you can't do that, if you're not willing to do that, then men don't want to deal with you. And you're thinking, oh, some men do. No, they don't. And rational, intelligent women, they don't want to deal with you either. This is the distinction I'm making between crazy, delusional, and dealing with reality and treating people fairly. And this is the distinction that I'm recognizing between this old guard, legacy, outright communistic, group-minded, welfare-seeking, victim-oppressed mentality, okay, just drowned in their feelings, about how they've been victimized and how they should be given free stuff. It's a delusion about how their ideas of morality and ethics need to be forced upon the rest of the world because they know what's best, when they're little more than children that have done little more than adopt the values and ideas of the majority of the people around them. So the reason why this works is because it's really difficult to plan out your future and to discipline yourself to make the sacrifices and to do the things necessary in the present to secure a prosperous future. That's hard to do. It's much easier to satisfy yourself in the present, to just indulge whatever you need. And if you were a pregnant woman or a child, you could understand this, appeasing, or a sick person. You could understand appeasing. And if you grew up in a family where, you had to adopt this kind of a mindset, you could also understand it. You can understand where these people are coming from. But they have to grow up. They have to come out of it. And they don't. And the media is aware of this. And it's easier to appeal to the people with their hurt feelings or their anger or their frustration than it is to appeal to their intellect, to their reason, to their logic. This is the separation. This is the distinction. So you've got crazy people on the right and you've got crazy people on the left. And then you've got some people within, from the right and some people from the left that are not crazy. The madness is characterized by emotion, by letting the emotion dictate and control the intellect, the reason, the logic. In other words, we have to do this because I feel like it's the right thing to do. Everybody has to get free food. And the real reason why the individual is putting that forward is because they want free food. They need free food. They feel very strongly about their need for food, right? And this is what their family taught them. And so the logic and the reason doesn't interrupt and say, look, nobody owes anybody free food. You're going to have to go out there and earn it and find it and create it for yourself, okay? You can't trick other people into supplying it for you without taking it from the person who actually supplied it. That part doesn't kick in, just the panic. of them not having their food. So then the emotional manipulation begins. So it's not an argument. Understand, it's not an argument. It's not a disagreement. It's not a debate about whether or not people should work to sustain themselves. It's a person who's hungry that will use all of their skills and guile and manipulation and emotions to get some food. They'll cry, they'll use shame, they'll use guilt. So it's not a conversation about, yeah, but shouldn't you earn your way just like somebody else? It's not that rational, logical conversation. This is what I'm saying. The madness is characterized by being stuck in your emotions. I've had some experience with this just recently, dealing with people with different opinions. And I simply said, this happens about every 6 months or so. I simply said, my opinion is that you shouldn't disrespect the flag of the country where you live. That's not covered under freedom of speech. That's disrespectful to your host, right? Like if you don't respect your father, then you should leave his house. You shouldn't say, I disrespect you, and then continue to live under his roof and eat his food and things like that. That's wrong. So it's known as having the courage of your convictions. In other words, if you feel so strongly about something, then go ahead and act on it. Don't just demonstrate it. And to do so is an act of great disrespect. It's not like understanding the true nature of the situation. In other words, the father should throw you out if you're really going to act that way. So this is what I stated. And all I got back in return was emotional, attacks and insults and how dare you this and how dare you that. It's like they're not even reading my name. You know what I mean? They're not even clicking on my name. They don't even know who I am. They're just like, oh, how dare you? It's like, well, yeah, this is what you were supposed to do. And it's overwhelming. So I'm one man who says, this is my opinion. And there's 20 or 30 other people who say, you've hurt our feelings and we're going to unload on you. This is what you can expect if you're interacting in the public, social media. As you know, it would be very difficult for me if I wanted to be part of their group and stuff like that. But luckily we've gone a little past that at the Howard Dare channel, right? It's like feminists are highly offended by me. It's like, damn, what am I going to do now? Like, what can I do to change that? So, and being part of their group is that you buy into their madness, to their ideological, emotionally based reasoning and way of looking at the world. How could you not? What kind of a person are you? Don't you realize? Da-da-da-da-da. And their emotional appeals, their insults, their attacks. And I've covered this. I've covered this in a lot of my videos. How one group of people are using language to express their emotions. And this is the primary thing in the world. My emotional state, don't you understand? Right? And the other people, mainly characterized by men, or at least working men who, don't want to get a free handout from anybody. That's not how they're looking at the world. They're saying, look, we have these physical obstacles to overcome in order to secure a prosperous future. This is what I'm going to do. This is the work I'm going to do to accomplish that. Oh, it's not working very well. These are the adjustments I'm going to make. I'm going to rethink it. I'm going to try something new. That's what the men and the reasonable and the rational, intelligent people are doing day to day. These are the habits. This is the conflict, right? So, and this is the source of the frustration, because when you've got somebody who's dealing in the physical world, in physical reality, trying to make things better, and you bring them into contact with somebody who is, talking about their emotions and how they got hurt, at the prom, or why they didn't get enough ice cream, or why they should be, the president of the company, or blah, 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 and how you offended them by not respecting them, blah, 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 and how their ancestors were mistreated, and now they can't, hold down a job because of that, or they can't get ahead, or they can't write a song because of that. All they can do is just be angry and blame other people, right? So when you bring these two groups of people together, how are they going to work together? How are they going to come to terms? You know what I mean? What is the person who's dealing in reality, trying to overcome obstacles? What concessions are they going to make to the person who's trying to make their emotions, their intellectual experience of the world the primary determining factor in the world? And if they don't get it, they're going to become emotionally abusive. You understand that this is a maladaptation of the child in the family. This is a maladaptation of the child's inability to deal in the grown-up physical world. And further, I hope you understand that media and the larger institutions free market capitalistic institutions that like to acquire power, I hope you understand which one of these two groups of mindsets they want to work with and deal with and appeal to, right? So, yeah, 80% of your population is going to want welfare, is going to want to be taken care of, is going to want to take the easy road. They're not going to exercise the judgment, the discipline to secure the future. They're going to secure the present. They're going to indulge the present and understand further that once you go down that road, it'll be harder and harder to then become self-critical and develop self-knowledge. In other words, these people are really, really opposed to knowledge, to self-knowledge, to growth and adaptability. They are opposed to it. That's the last thing in the world they want. And this is the majority of people. So there you go. I believe that is the source of men and the non-crazy people's frustration. And I don't, I'm sorry, but the compromise is not really possible. What concessions can the person who deals in reality make to the person who deals in their feelings? Is there a compromise about the altitude, of the plane? Is there a compromise that you're going to make there? There is no compromise. So that is the source of the frustrations. So I hope this gives you some insight. Let me know what you think about this in the comments section below. And please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate, and join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, MGTOW.